Nothing much, my dear. Paul was just trying to prove a point, that's all.
What sort of point? That writers shouldn't be allowed in the house?
Not entirely. When he feels we have the first murder of into the kill.
Oh, why's that?
It just seems a bit more credible, that's all. People don't tend to carry around daggers in the past, but they usually own a scarf.
That seems to make sense, Harry.
It doesn't until you realise that this man is killed in his office in the middle of the day. Strangling is not instantaneous. He'd had time to struggle and make a noise, as I just demonstrated. People would come rushing in, as you did. Our murderer has to slip away unseen.
With a stabbing, the victim would have time to cry out for something.
Not with that killer. He hits the right spot. Death is immediate.
How can you be sure?
He's a failed medical student.
But you have failed medical students, running around killing people in under the night.
But this failed medical student is different.
Different.
He has a ginger hair.
Well, as long as it's sells, I don't suppose it matters how he dies. Just don't have him clubbed to death. I don't think the carpet could stand it.
Well, that's settled then, is it? I'll give it to Alison for duplicating.
All right, we must keep the lovely Alison in business.
I told Cullen we'd have the manuscript next week. Bernard's deadline is the end of the month.
I know.
Good, then we've just got time to do the Vice Squad rewrites before I go away.
Stop the rewrites. I have an idea for an original thriller.
Paul, we agreed to do the rewrites.
Well, we shouldn't have done. They'll be shooting next week. They'll be using our stuff, whether they like it or not.
Well, you won't do it. I will. We can't afford to fall out with them. Besides, I go to America in a fortnight.
Nobody asked you to go to America. We should work on this while still hot.
No, Paul. I promised Emma a holiday, and if your idea's any good, it'll stick.
You're so bloody boring. It's the perfect plot, don't you even want to hear it?
Well, if it makes it feel better.
It's the perfect murder.
Oh, not again.
Listen, it still sells. This guy wants to polish off a mate. Business partner or wife's boyfriend. Anyway, he wants to get his victim away on a dangerous holiday. Trekking the Himalayas or potholing in the Andes. Whatever, it involves climbing mountains. And this guy is an expert mountaineer. But nobody knows that. But his victim isn't. He's a lounge listener. Gets nosebleeds from walking upstairs on a bus.
So why does he agree to go to the Himalayas?
Well, because he doesn't realise how rough it will be. And he doesn't look soft by turning down the challenge. We'd find a way to rationalise it. The point is, our lad takes some chap up a mountain, miles from anywhere, and leaves him stranded, on a ledge or something, where the expert can come and go, but the beginner's trapped. So, our murderer treks back to civilization, reports his mate missing, saying he got separated in the fog or something, then leads the rescue party in circles, eventually finding the body a fortnight later. Then a mark on him. No one would suspect murder, and even if they did, there's nothing they could prove. The man went on his own accord and got lost.
Death by misadventure.
Murder by misadventure. That's my title. What do you think?
It's a bit far-fetched. Don't you have guides when you go up the mountains?
Give me a chance. Just thought of it. Just admit, it sounds pretty good.
There's a term or something there. You need to know how long it takes for hypothermia to kill a healthy man. Stuff like that.
Research I'll leave to you. You're good at that. I come up with the ideas and you do all the donkey work.
No, thanks, Paul. As I told you, I want to do a stage play.
Do we have a stage plot?
This isn't a stage play. No one's going to tour around Bradford and Brighton carrying a bloody mountain.
Why not? Ibsen did.
Oh, Ibsen, Schmidsen. This isn't a stage play. Too many locations, too much outdoors. Where are you going to get 2 tons of snow?
Alright, it's a movie then. And if the movie moguls won't buy it, Colin could probably sell it as a miniseries.
I can't flog anything to anyone these days. He's got too big to care. He's not hungry anymore. An agent should be locked in a cellar throwing the occasional fish head.
He's always done well with our TV stuff in the past.
Well, that's over for me. I want to do some work that lasts a bit.
You're getting 6 weeks in the States.
No, I mean last in terms of making money. Something that could run for a few years and keep on earning so I can take a break.
You're getting 6 weeks in the States though.
I mean a real break. Look, I'm thinking of the future. I'm sick of the TV treadmill. You write something, it goes out, and it's forgotten.
Forgotten? What about repeats? The fees are a gold mine!
I want to be a gold mine. I want a stage hit, another mousetrap.
Do we have a stage plot?
Not at the moment, no.
So we did Murder by Misadventure.
No, we don't, Paul. Look, why don't you do it on your own while I'm in the States?
On my own?
Yes, perhaps we have rest from each other.
What does that mean?
It means that we've been working together for a long time. Perhaps we're a bit stale. Perhaps we want to try different things.
You mean you're the one that wants to do different things? You've always wanted to be the classy playwright, join the Garrett Club, sit around this pumpsy flat drinking martinis and even eating avocados?
There's more to it than that. I want to travel. I want to broaden my horizons. I want to work in new areas.
So that's the idea of the American trip. Hello, Hollywood! Give old Paul the elbow.
It's a holiday, Paul, as I told you.
But you'll be looking for ritzy new contacts, won't you?
Well, of course. It'd be daft not to.
But it's the high life you wanted. Why didn't you stay an accountant? They're the ones that get rich quick these days.
It didn't seem likely. There wasn't much promotion at Mortimer Cook's. And after the scandal, it wasn't easy for any of us to look elsewhere.
I bet. And if you stayed, you would have ended up dead like your boss.
I doubt that. I couldn't commit suicide to save my life.
You must remember to use that line.
Oh dear. In Sleeping Dogs Die. Oh, I'm glad that we met and decided to work together. It's been a dreadful 10 years, but things have changed, Paul.
You've changed. I have. I'm quite happy making my money writing telescripts.
And spending it on booze and birds. Well, if that's what you want. Okay. But I don't, which is why I think we need to take a break from each other.
Harry, there's a red light blinking and the other won't come on.
Emma, Paul and I are supposed to be working together.
I'm glad you said supposed to be, but if we don't get the oven on, there'll be no lunch.
Right.
And please, don't forget, I have to be in London by 3:30 for my fabrics
I
conference.
hadn't forgotten.
Interior design keeping you busy, Emma.
Enough.
Might want to have a shot before you're downstairs. Looks like a space age knocking shot.
Then I'm surprised we don't see you here more often. Harry, the oven.
Right. It'd be the brochure. I've got all the bump here.
Bump.
When you move into a new place these days, you get glossy booklets how everything works. The cooker, the sauna, and the heating system. All translated from German by a 12-year-old schoolboy. Harry, you should try too.
You would.
Here we are. Kaiser super oven cooker. Red lights. Ah, here it is. Yeah, it sounds as if you let the master control in a late start mode without adjusting the timer.
How?
Come on, I'll show you.
Late start mode. We're on the late start mode this morning. Strangle? Feel like a good strangle. Gotcha, Harry! Just like my dear partner. Big head, little else.
All fixed.
Oh, yippee!
Wish all of life's problems were as easily solved as that.
Yes, this whole place is a technological nightmare.
Each to his own, Paul. I rather like it personally. I would like to be here. I like the view. I like the sea air. I like a bit of luxury and the gadgets I can live with.
Seascapes is more than the most elegant development of the South Coast. It's an adventure in modern living. Best riding the beautiful Fane headland, its 10 floors of superb flat tower, 200 feet over the sea like the Colossus of Rhodes. God Almighty!
Sounds like your early Avenger style.
Thank you. Those with a taste for history should note that the Seascapes is built on the historic Fane Rock, reputably the sacrificial stone of the ancient Britons. Black magic, eh? Virgins deflowered and hurled into the sea.
Something like that.
You live with pros like this?
Oh, if it gives me air and light and space, yes.
We've got something about heights having to. Must be superiority complex, but why does it have the top floor?
Well, that's view, isn't it? And it can't be overlooked.
Well, I just hope I'm not here when the lift breaks down.
Well, there's a reserve for it. It runs off our own generator.
Of course. Soundproof glass is all in all windows and patio doors. Keeps the seascapes quiet on the stormiest night. Quiet is right. You never see a bloody soul.
Or we're the only ones on the top 3 floors. They haven't sold many flats yet.
At these prices, I'm not surprised.
Well, they will. They've only been on the market for 2 months. Come next spring, they'll fill the place, unfortunately.
And then you have to go out in epoxy powerboat to get away from the asset strippers and retired bookmakers.
You can knock it if you like, Paul. It happens to be the lifestyle that Emma and I want. If you prefer squalor, okay.
Have you thought of what it's done to my lifestyle? Slogging down on the train from Croydon every time we work together.
Well, that's another reason for a trial separation, isn't it? So you do the travelling.
You really are trying to give me the brush up, aren't you? How long have you been planning this? I should have seen it coming. I'm moving to the south coast. It won't affect our work. You think of ideas on the train. And the journey's tax deductible. You treacherous bastard!
I came here because it's where I want to live and for no other reason. And considering I get you out of your grubby little tenement and down to the seaside every time we work together, I think you ought to be grateful.
So you take away my buck and spade. It's bye-bye, Paul. Please drop dead, but not on the cut. Well, I'm not leaving. We're a team.
I'm not saying we'll not work together, just not 52 weeks in the year.
But I need to work 52 weeks in a year or get bookies habbies at my door. And I can't work on my own.
Then why not try a new partner?
A new partner?
Yeah.
Where am I going to get a new partner?
What about that character whose work you showed me the other day, Martin, Whittaker, wasn't it?
Whittaker sent those to us because we are successful and he wanted advice.
You said his stuff wasn't bad. I bet he'd jump at the chance to work with you. Yes. He'd do all your donkey work, I should think.
He's a beginner. A struggling actor scribbling down thrillers in his dressing room. While he waits to go on and say, "Dinner is served." That's no use to me.
He'd be so keen he'd probably settle for a 70-30 split.
I'm not interested in exploiting people. There's enough exploitation in this business already. You've been living off my back for the last 10 years.
How could I do that when you've been flat on it for most of it? We've always split everything down the middle.
Well, how come you own this bloody palace and I'm still renting a 2-room flat?
That's because I've invested my share of the money and you've thrown yours away like a drunken sailor.
No, because you're notorious skinflint!
You, my dear Paul, are a drunken slob. If you manage to smuggle your fees past the betting shop and the pub and get as far as the bank, you'd be set up for life with exactly the same income that I have.
Sod the income. You've been living off my talent, my ideas. When was the last time you had an idea that wasn't mine?
Then why are you so keen on working with me?
I'm ashamed to say it, but I happen to need you because your plodding accountant mind keeps us organised. I can't suck up to producers. You can. You see things get finished, are probably bound and in on time. See? I mine the gold, and you're the mule that takes it to market.
You certainly know how to woo people with your silver tongue. Hello? Colin? Oh, really? Oh, that's tremendous. When did you hear? Yes. 2 days ago. Well. Yes, that's very nice of you to let us know. I realise you have other clients, Colin, but I don't think any of them contribute to exotic lifestyle as much as Paul and I do. Yes. Yes, of course it's good news. You haven't made a mistake, have you? No. Oh, yes, of course I'll go. Oh, wait, when is it? Oh, hell, that's when I'm in America. No, we'll have to get Paul together. Let's see if I can persuade him. Yes. Well, it's nice of you to let us know so quickly. No, I'm not upset. Look, yes, it's really nice to talk to you too, Colin. It really is. All right. Bye.
I wish you weren't so bloody rude to our agent.
I'm getting tired of Colin. I don't trust him anymore. He's just had the grace to inform us. 2 days later, we're up for Best TV Serial Award for The Doomsday Man.
Big deal! We're going to win it?
Yes. But they've asked Colin to make sure that we're both there for the ceremony.
Not me, Harry. Get me in a monkey suit and dance off the overpriced drinks with cheap directors and freeloaders? Stuffed.
Well, unfortunately, you're going to have to go, Paul, because I can't when I'm in America.
Oh, that's hard luck, isn't it? Wild Rose wouldn't drag me to that bloody charade.
The Academy of Visual Arts is important for both our careers, Paul, whether we're together or not.
Why? Do I want an award for it? You can't eat it. You can't drink it. And you can't screw it. As far as I'm concerned, they can shove their award up their visual arts.
I wonder if you realise how pathetic you are. Look at you. You're mine by 12:30. You're no use to me. You accuse me of breaking up the partnership. Well, you're right. It's done. It's finished. It's over. I'll do those rewrites before I go back to America. And that's it. That's the end of Kit and Riggs. When I go back, I'll be writing on my own.
I know you don't, old chum. Not a chance.
And why not?
Because I'll cut your rotten throat. It's not easy writing with a cut throat. The blood clogs up the typewriter.
Not much point in cutting my throat, Paul. A dead partner's no good to you, and a drunken partner's no good to me. So you may as well go home. We're finished.
Christ! Come off it, Harry. I'm the one. You know we can't make a living without me. I'm the one with the spark, remember? And you're the one with the push.
And I'm tired of pushing. Tired of bullying you to meet the deadlines. Tired of apologising to people that you've offended. Tired of doing all the work while you slop around being a genius. But most of all, I am tired of you, Paul.
All this books, I won't pick up a bloody award. Alright. If it means so much to you, I'll do it.
No, don't bother. Forget it. Probably throw up all over Terry Wogan. No, stay out of my life.
Come on, Harry. I don't want this team to break up. I was a bit of a fool. But I'm not so daft I won't be able to see what would happen. I'll go back around hanging around pubs, coming up with great ideas, but never being able to write them. I might starve to death.
Well, that's hard luck, isn't it?
Forget about this morning, Harry. We'll do things your way.
Sorry, Paul. As I told you, it's fine. I just don't want to work with you anymore.
Don't push it. I've done all the groveling I'm going to do. This partnership is staying together.
I don't see how you can force me to write you, Paul.
You don't?
No, I don't.
Well, I do.
I beg your pardon?
I can make you do just about anything. Because if you don't, I can ruin your life.
What the hell are you talking about?
I'm talking about the Mortimer Cook scandal. When your senior accountant leaked $1 million from clients' funds into his own and was found out and shot himself. And a junior accountant was found nicking $90,000 and wasn't and didn't.
You're joking. You're talking utter nonsense.
Slightly too long a pause, Harry. Even if you timed it right, it wouldn't have helped. You see, I know.
You know what?
Well, Mortimer Cook was milking clients' accounts into another account. Also to you. I saw a cheque on your desk made out for £90,000.
What the devil were you doing prying in my desk?
Looking for a stamp. That's all. Just a little stamp. But that cheque stuck in my mind because it was the biggest I'd ever seen. Gave me a cause of great interesting speculation. Were you helping Cook in return for a cut? Or did you find out what he was up to and put the screws on?
You're fantasizing. A cheque doesn't prove anything.
Not one for 90,000 quid. Rather bigger than your salary. I'd say a note to the police would make things quite unpleasant. Might cause them to reopen the case and look into what you were up to.
And you think this nonsense will persuade me to go on working with you?
Persuade? Persuade is an ugly word. Let's call it blackmail.
Are you serious?
Well, I would be. What do you tell me? I've admitted that I probably won't be able to make a living without you. I don't fancy starving.
You're contemptible.
I know. So you see, we could have this partnership, and we could forget about the whole Morton Cook scheme. Or we could break up, and a letter goes off to the fathers.
You are a miserable bloody bastard!
We're back to strangling, are we? I thought we'd given that up.
No! Not entirely. The idea does contain a certain appeal.
I wondered if Paul was lunching with us today.
No. He has to go back to town.
Yes! I've got a bit of a headache.
All right.
And we have some things to work out in our own.
Well, lunch will be on the table in 40 minutes. Harry, okay?
Fine. Thanks.
So then, Harold, are we on again?
Well, I put up with you for so long. I suppose we can keep on doing it. Though not forever, please God.
Not quite forever. Just enough until we've got enough to retire.
And you'd better make some changes too. You'd better, for starters, we'll do those rewrites together before I go to America.
I'll give them the rest of the week.
Okay.
Next week we start looking at Murder by Misadventure.
Alright, we'll do those rewrites before I go to the States.
Any contacts you make in America, they'd know that you're half team, right?
As you wish. And you might try cutting down on the booze a little. See if you can restore a little blood to your alcohol stream.
I might. And I'll tell you what, I might even pick up this award for you.
If you can stay on your feet.
Academy prizes, I probably can.
Good. Then, if we're sticking together, we may as well be friends.
Truce, Harry, we don't have to fall in love. We stay together because we need each other.
Like Gilbert and Sullivan.
Or Abbott and Costello.
You could even stay for lunch if you want.
No, I'm knackered. I'm going to go home and have a kip.
Right.
We make a new start tomorrow.
See you at 10.
Or thereabouts.
And no drinks before lunch.
Let's not be bloody silly. Emma, I'm off now, darling.
Emma, Paul's off. I can get around to golf this afternoon.
You sure you want to change your mind about lunch?
Positive. Save me truffle for tomorrow. Morning all.
I wish I could decide on these two curtain fabrics. What do you think for a bachelor's flat in Chelsea? Blue or gold?
How about lilac? Drink?
Compare, please.
How's the consultancy going?
Great fun. I managed to persuade a pair of yappies from having a sway front door. Get any work done today?
Not much. Paul was obstreperous as usual. He managed to be hard to cut by 11 o'clock.
Bit of the kill's finished now, isn't it?
Yes, I'll give it to Alison for typing.
I notice there's a woman offering secretarial services in the village. It could save you a journey.
No, I'll stick with Alison.
Well, what does she charge? The local woman does seem pretty cheap.
Doesn't matter. She's used to our work.
Well,
Emma, for Christ's sake.
what's wrong, Harry?
Paul knows about one of the cooks. He's blackmailing me.
Good God, how did that happen?
He's known about it all along, apparently. He's kept it up his sleeve all this time, waiting until he needed it.
Oh. What's he after? Money?
Not quite, but no doubt that will come. No, he used it this morning to get himself off the hook. As you know, I wanted to write on my own, but when I floated the idea to Paul, yes, he turned nasty. Said if I tried, he'd shock me.
Good God, Harry, what are you going to do?
Well, if we're ever going to live a normal life again, I'm going to have to kill him.
Isn't there laws against that sort of thing?
Oh yes, the trick is not to get found out.
Is that possible?
Oh yes, I think so. You see, Paul's just suggested a rather clever way to do it. Fane, 2132. Oh, hello, my darling. Yes, all well? Yes. No, she's down the village. She's just ducked out for a moment. Yeah, but do be careful about me. Yes. Well, you never know. She might pick up the phone and then, well, what? No. No, I told you that's impossible at this stage. People ruin everything. Yeah, there's no need to say things like that. Look, there's a car coming at 1. And we leave at 3. It's only 6 weeks, so we'll go by really quickly. And things will change when I get back from America. A lot of things will change very soon. Yes, I promise you. It's just a joke, isn't it? Well, I certainly hope it is. Look, just be a little patient, that's all.
Harry, I'm back.
Oh, they're not coming back yet. I have to go. Yes, I've really got to go. Oh, all right, I'll talk to you soon. All right, bye-bye. What took you so long?
Trouble with the car.
Did you get the tablets?
Yes.
No queries?
I thought the chemist looked at me a little oddly, but it was probably my imagination.
Nothing odd about sleeping pills, and they know your doctor.
What time is it? Paul's not here yet.
No, I told him 12 o'clock. He'd probably be late. All he owns in the world is a case of scotch and a copy of Sporting Life, but he still has trouble packing.
I don't understand how you can joke about him like that.
Well, neither do I, but it keeps me occupied, keeps me going.
What's the time? What was that on the phone?
Colin. He rang to wish us a good holiday.
Nice of him. Not many agents would do that.
Well, not many writers make their agents as much money as Paul and I do.
What's the time?
10 to 12.
Oh God, he'll be here any moment. Harry, I'm scared.
Down, everything will be all right.
No, it's all wrong.
Shh. Look, I told you a dozen times. It's the only way.
It can't be.
Look, I promise you, I've thought around every possible angle, and each time I come up against a brick wall. We've got to do this, or we settle with that bastard.
I still can't understand why he agreed to it. To stay here, I mean.
Can't you? Well, 6 weeks loafing in a luxury flat. Give him half the chance and he's trouncing the snouts in the trough with the rest of us.
I suppose so.
6 weeks free heating and lighting. Do you know he's even let the flat out during the duration?
He must have been surprised when you asked him.
No, I told him that you were afraid of burglars and offered him a couple of £100 cash. He took it. Now, look, we better get on. Have you got the tablets?
Yes. Do we really need these?
No. They're pure backup. A safeguard. You see, I don't know how quite drunk I can get him before we leave. The odds are very fast. You never know with Paul. He's completely unpredictable. Besides, it's a new situation. He's never done this sort of thing before. He's never looked after the flat before. I don't know how quite drunk I can get him now.
Does he have to be drunk at all?
I told you.
I'm confused, Harry. I'm so nervous I can't think straight.
Well, they got to realise he was drunk when they find him. Otherwise, he wouldn't do anything so stupid now, would he?
But if he's too drunk, will he do what you want?
I don't know. Look, I admit we're walking a bit of a tightrope here. There's never been a murder like this before. No weapon, no struggle, no visible agency, and doesn't actually die until we're thousands of miles away.
If it works.
It'll work. I'll get him so drunk I'll get him drunk enough, but not so drunk he can't do what I want. Now, put the rest of the pills of coffee. Where are they?
You had them on the desk.
Of course I had them on the desk, but well, they're not there now. You haven't moved them, have you?
No, why would I?
What the hell is going on?
I saw them. They were under... Look, here they are. On the table.
But I haven't been near the table since you came in.
You must have.
It's extraordinary. Oh, well, this is the third time something like this has happened this week. Maybe we've got a poltergeist or something. It's ridiculous. I must have moved them without thinking. Now put the rest of the pills in the coffee.
Then what happens? All right. I'll get on with the pack.
Yes. Hello? Oh, Colin. It's you again. Thanks. Just excuse me a moment. Colin forgot a few points. Anything I should be doing?
No, it's all in hand.
Sorry about that. Yes, the award. Yes, I've got the invitation. Yes, I'll be flying back from the States for 24 hours to collect it. Yes. No? No? I'll be flying back? Oh, I couldn't persuade Paul to go. No, he hates that sort of thing. No friction at all. No friction. In fact, he'll be staying here while we're away. No, I don't think he will do that. I doubt you'll get him. Well, we'll be spending most of the time in the pub. Here he is now. Yes, I've got to go. Yes. Well, I'll give him, yes. I'll give him a look at your message, and I'll see you at the awards. All right. Bye.
Hello, darling. Sorry to be early. Bloody British Rail's running late again as usual. I went to catch the 10:30. Got the 9:54 bun stack.
Well, no more travelling for you for the next 6 weeks, unless you want to. I think you'll be comfortable here.
Provided I can stand the silence. Might have to break one of your soundproof windows just to hear the odd seagull.
Don't try, Paul. They're not only soundproof, they're brick-proof.
Be right if I smoke in here, won't set off any sprinkler system.
You can smoke if you have to. Do try to put the butts in an ashtray and knock down the back of the armchairs like you usually do. And don't stand the bottles on the floor. You know you always knock them over. And don't put your boots on the sofa. And what else was it? Oh yes. Welcome.
Thanks! It's Liberty Hall, isn't it? Changed your tune a bit, haven't you? A couple of weeks ago you wanted to give me the boot. Now you're inviting me to stay here.
Didn't want the place to be empty, that's all.
No, well... You better tell me how all your high-tech gadgets work, in case I need them.
Why don't you get rid of your stuff first? You're in the second bedroom.
Right.
You can leave those bottles here.
I believe this is where I shall be doing most of my drinking. I need a slash. Bloody British Rail beer goes straight through. And I better put one of these in the bedroom just to be on the safe side.
Harry, these are cluttering up the hall. Can't you have one more try to make him see reason?
No.
You must.
Yes, the only reason he understands is hanging on to his meal ticket. And you know who that is.
How did it go so terribly wrong, Harry? You really used to like him.
I don't like him anymore. He's a selfish, drunken louse. And now he's a blackmailer as well.
Have one more try, please.
All right. If you insist, but I guarantee it'll be useless. Now listen. We go ahead as planned, unless I give you the signal.
What signal?
I won't pour the coffee as arranged.
Then what happens?
Just say it's cold and forget about it.
Now I've seen everything. A loo that you flush with your foot, and a bidet to wash your foot in.
Paul, I'm making coffee. Will you have some?
Oh, of course. I don't object to a non-alcoholic drink if it's in moderation.
Bring it in about 5 minutes, will you, darling? dare say you could force down a little scotch.
Dare say I could.
No work for you today. You can have an extra large one.
Yes, school's broken up early this year. While I'm still sober, you better tell me what you have in mind.
Have in mind?
Do you want me to pick up this awards thingy or not?
Oh, yes, they're sending all the invitations here.
Good. Any requests?
Yes. Try not to make an idiot of yourself. And don't pawn the award before I get back.
No, teacher. Now, is there anything I ought to know about this 20th century pleasure palace before you leave me in charge?
I think it's all pretty straightforward. Now, you do want to open up the windows. It's an ordinary catch, but there's also a locking bolt, which is very obvious. Now, the patio doors are the same, except they lock from the inside when you close them automatically. Now, the central heating's programmed to come on at 7 a.m. and go off at 1 a.m. So there's plenty of hot water. Now, Emma will show you how to use the cooker and the washer. And, this panel here controls all the gadgets. The air conditioner, the burger alarm, and so on. You don't need to worry about any of them, they're all preset. Now, if you want to use the sauna, there's instructions inside.
Stop the sauna, I'm not kinky. What about food?
Well, Emma's loaded the fridge and the freezer. I've even brought a crime novel for you to read. I don't think you've quite read House of Death. I think you will enjoy it. Anything else? There's a full range of shops in the village.
What about the important ones?
All 3 pubs and an off license.
Speaking of which, my glass seems to be empty.
I'll say, I envy your freedom and mobility.
That's me. No commitments, no restrictions.
No friends.
With a partner like you, Harry, who needs friends?
What about that girl you were seeing, Valerie, wasn't it?
Valerie Knight?
Yes.
You must be joking. We broke up months ago.
Really? I thought it was going strong.
Strong's the word. She turned out to be a real horror, that one. Drug abuse or something. God knows what she was on. Certainly drove her crazy. You didn't know where you were from one moment to the next. Pity, really. She was a stunner, and sexy with it.
Mm-hmm. How did it all end?
The most god-awful row. She started beating me about the head. Thought she was trying to kill me. I had to boot her out of the flat. Thank God that was the last I had to see of Valerie Knight.
Has she been in touch again?
No. Why should she?
Or with anyone else?
No. I might pick up a buxom blonde while I'm down here when I've got things organised.
The young conservatives meet on Tuesdays. So, a nice seaside holiday with no one to disturb you.
Well, I'm going to have a talk to that chap Whitty.
Really? You've made an appointment, have you?
No, I'm thinking about ringing him next week.
Ah. Well, yes, you have him down here by the windows.
Shall I call?
No thanks, darling. Paul's still drinking whiskey.
I can manage both.
Well, let it stand.
Time's getting
What's the
on.
flavour?
Are we sticking to our plans?
Oh yes, I think so. Just a few things I have to sort out.
Don't be too long. I've nearly finished packing.
Why don't you join us? We'll have the coffee soon.
Alright.
So you're thinking of getting together with Whittaker?
Oh, yes, he sent me some notes he was thanking me for. I could say I was rather flattered. Rather stupidly suggested that we should meet up and chat.
Good. Think do some writing with him. Could be useful. New blood, new ideas.
Do you get any ideas, Harry? Like trying to give me the elbow again?
I just suggested a bit more freedom, that's all. We can work apart and come together when we feel like it. If I could just have 6 months.
Forget it! If I talk to Whittaker, It's just to give him a helping hand. My bread and butter is working with you, old chum. 52 weeks in a year, unless I let you off for the occasional holiday, which expires in 6 weeks.
That threat you made earlier, Paul, when we were discussing our partnership, it was so bizarre, it rather threw me. I don't know if I heard you quite right. I think I must have dreamed it.
Well, it wasn't a dream. I said it, and I meant it, and I still mean it. I need you, and I don't intend on letting you go.
Oh well, at least we understand each other. Have some coffee. Black as usual?
Thanks. What was that?
What?
That noise!
Yes.
Does it always do that?
It's adjusting automatically room temperature.
Great company that's going to be. Well, don't forget my 200 quid, will you?
It's in an envelope on the kitchen table.
Hard-earned money, that is. Putting up all this bourgeois luxury.
You should be alright for cash for a bit. You've had the Vice Squad episode checks.
Yes, I got swallowed up rather quickly.
God, your bookie's account, I suppose.
Yes, afraid so. He's a bit fussy about these sort of things, and he's not quite the gentleman. Where's that book you left me to read?
Right, it's on the table.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is. So we put it there.
Presumably you've moved it.
I haven't. Have you?
No!
Then where the hell is it?
Do books walk in this flat?
Is this the one you mean? The House of Death?
Yes. How did it get over there?
God knows.
This is extraordinary.
Is this place haunted or something? There's bloody black magic in the brochure. What was that?
Automatic humidity check. It changes every 6 hours.
Well, I don't think I'm going to like it here. Maybe I won't stay after.
Don't be ridiculous, Paul. Of course you want to stay. You'll get used to the sounds. We did in a couple of days, didn't we, Emma?
Yes, we did.
The gadgets are only there for your comfort. Have some coffee.
Of course. I thought you installed them to frighten me to death. I've gone off the coffee.
Well, have a scotch. Have you had your check yet for In for the Kill?
No.
Nor have I. But Renata hasn't had it long. Still, just processing it.
I'll chase our agent while we're away.
Well, that's nice. Suddenly going to do all the work now that you can use my phone. Drink your coffee before it gets cold.
I don't really coffee. I'll stick to the scotch.
Oh, I nearly forgot. I've done that research on that idea of yours. Murder by Misadventure?
Do you think it'll fit?
Oh, yes. I think a healthy middle-aged man exposed to 40 degrees Fahrenheit would be dead within a week. At 50 degrees, he'll last a bit longer, but dehydration will get him up a mountain. It's a lot colder, so he'll go quicker.
I was thinking, we might make him a bookmaker.
I don't think you get a bookmaker up a mountain. You haven't finished your glass.
I've gone off the scotch. What is that supermarket garbage? God knows what it's doing to me.
We'll have some coffee instead. It'll buck you up. Here's a fresh cup, hot from the pot.
No, I think I'd give them both a rest. To be honest, I feel quite peculiar.
We'll have some coffee then.
If you say so, nurse.
Now, reverting back to that idea about murder by misadventure, I thought of something after you'd gone yesterday.
Sigh of relief.
No, you know how we were looking at I was looking at doing a stage play? Well, this could be it!
A man going up the Himalayas on stage. You said so yourself.
It doesn't have to be up a mountain. We can freeze him to death in an urban setting.
You're going to lock him in the fridge.
No, not quite. He'd have to go somewhere where he would get himself easily trapped without anyone being blamed. Somewhere exposed and unfriendly.
He's going to trap his toe in the bathtub.
No, Paul. Out here.
What?
I'll get you another scotch though. I'll show you. I'll get your favourite this time. Dimple Hay.
Oh, will that old dimple over here.
Now, just come on out to the balcony for a moment.
I don't bugger about. It's bloody freezing out there.
Well, it's just a little bit chilly. Oh, here's some vintage scotch to warm you up.
I'm feeling hellish drowsy.
Well, a bit of fresh air will clear your mind. I want to show you something.
No, I must have a little nap first.
No, I've got the key to Murder by Misadventure. I've cracked it. It's out here. Do you want to come and see? Come on, it'll make us a fortune.
Well, if you put it like that. It's the sea, it's bloody freezing out here.
Not quite. But it will be tonight, or if not, next week.
What is all this?
Don't you see, Paul? An ordinary balcony in an ordinary block of flats, overlooking nothing but the sea. No one above, no one below, no one else in the flat. We could trap our victim in a place like this.
It would never work.
Oh, I think it would, Paul. Actually, I think it will. Anyway, now's your chance to find out. Emma!
Have you done it?
Yes, he's out there now. Take this bottle, rinse it down the sink, and throw it away.
Oh, how will they know he was drunk? Where did they find the pills in his stomach?
Oh. There's no problem. They're pills. They're the ones he always takes. He takes 3 every night.
Harry, I'm scared. Let him back in. Pretend it was a joke. It's not too late.
It is for Paul, Emma.
But what if I found out?
What's to find out? We went away, leaving Paul in charge. He wandered on out into the balcony, full of booze, and fell asleep, drunk. If he woke up and shouted, no one could hear him. If he waved his arms, no one could see him but the seagulls. No way could he escape, up or down or either side. So he perished tragically. We'll be horrified to find him there in 6 weeks' time.
I shan't have to see him, shall I?
No, but with any luck, we'll get the porter in to clean the windows. If not, I'll discover him myself. Also, I left a bottle of scotch out there on the balcony. Now he'll drink that, fall asleep, and never wake up. With any luck, we'll find him in 6 weeks' time, still holding the bottle. Now, get the cases, darling. The car will be here in any moment. Thing, 2132. Oh yes, the script department. Yes. Ah, the title page. Yes, that is the right credit. Do excuse me for a moment. We've got a plane to catch. Yes, that is the right title, yes. In for the Kill is written by Carol Kent only. No shared credit this time. Goodbye. Tax deductible, and with that we got a smart driver. We'll remember picking us up and bringing this room at 4.
Is that important?
It might be. Well, aren't you going to come in?
I'm afraid.
On a 6-week-old corpse.
moment all the time we've been away. I tried to forget about it, but I just couldn't put it out of my mind.
Darling, I do understand it isn't particularly pleasant, I know. Look, it's only going to take a little while. Look, just a simple phone call, the ambulance comes, and they take what's left of him away.
I wish you wouldn't keep putting it like that.
And that's all there is to it.
God, I need a drink.
Is that wise on top of your Valium?
No, but I need one. When are you going to open the curtains?
Well, when I feel like it. I feel like discovering the body.
Good, you better get some go for it.
Not now.
Well, when?
Tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning.
Emma, we discussed this. I was going to get the porter in to clean the windows when we came home, but the plane was 6 hours late. Now, it would look a bit suspicious if he came in and cleaned the windows in the middle of the night, now wouldn't he?
To hell with the drink. I can't stand it. When are you going to open the curtains?
Well, someone coming home from abroad on a winter's evening, they don't go out there on the balcony, do they?
We don't get this over with at once. I can't go through with it.
All right. Well, let me open it, all right, on my own. We'll just say we were checking the weather. You don't have to look if you don't want to.
Open the damn curtains.
God!
What's all that blood? There shouldn't be any blood.
A dead bird. I think one of the herrings on it. Where's Paul?
He's not
I
there.
can't see Paul.
He's not there!
What's happened, for Christ's sake? He can't have gone off the balcony.
Perhaps he forced the lock and got back in.
Oh, how could he? The lock's still intact.
Could he have gone up to the roof?
10 feet of shiny brick, no handholds. Anyway, why wouldn't you try? No one would have seen him any more on the roof than on the balcony.
Then what's happened?
And what has happened is, well, he definitely got it. One thing certain, he did not get off that balcony alive. And even if he had, we'd have known by now. He would have told the police. Or he would have got him and come after us. That's the sort of man that he was.
I'm sure it was.
It's the only thing that could have happened to him. The only way he could have got off the balcony was over the edge and 200 feet down onto the rocks. That's what he must have done. A quick suicide plunge.
But we'd have heard. Colin knew our address. Someone would have phoned us.
Maybe his body was washed out to sea.
Wouldn't it wash back?
Emma, it's the only thing that could have happened.
Perhaps he's hurt. Too ill to do anything. Lying low somewhere.
He's dead, Emma. And it's worked out even better than what we planned. We report him missing, find his body in a few weeks' time. And they'll know he would have jumped. A drunken author in a suicide plunge. We'll be in the clear.
Look, Harry. There is something out there. Lying in the corner. My God, it's soaked in blood too. Is that the bird's blood?
I don't think so. It's too far away. This coat's not yours, is it?
No, I've never seen it before. Careful, don't get the blood on the chair. The blood's still wet.
There's a hole in the left breast, as if with jagged edges, as if a knife had gone through it.
Harry, what the hell is going on?
I don't know. There's something in the pocket. An envelope addressed to Miss Valerie Knight.
Valerie Knight. Who's Valerie Knight?
An ex-girlfriend of Paul's. They quarreled and parted some months ago, but this must be her child. But how did it get out to our balcony? I don't understand any of this.
Do you think she came here?
Oh, I know. Be sensible. How could she?
Forced her way in, perhaps.
With our security. 2 chums, 2 Yale locks, and a massive burglar alarm. Oh, for heaven's sake, do try.
Oh, God, who's that?
I don't know.
Don't answer it.
Well, it could be someone pressing the wrong button. Better go and check it. Hello? Yes, this is Harold Kent. Who is that? Oh, I see. It's a police inspector. What was that name again? Right, well, what can I do for you? I'm afraid it's not very convenient at the moment, so we just returned from abroad. Yes, my wife is extremely tired, Inspector, and... well, if you insist, I suppose you better come up. Take the lift to the top floor in number 81. He wants a word with me about something very important.
God, what's happening?
Keep calm. You must keep
The
calm.
cock! The cock, get the damn jacket out of the way!
It's nothing to do with us. We haven't stabbed anyone.
It was on our balcony. We don't want to talk about our balcony. Put it back where it was.
But I don't see why.
Pretend it... No! You shouldn't have gone out there. We shouldn't have done this.
All right. You start unpacking and make everything look normal. We just got home. Paul's not here yet, but we're expecting him any moment.
Harry, what do we do about these letters? Paul's supposed to be living here, you know.
No, put them down. He's supposed to have locked himself out 6 weeks ago.
Oh.
Hello. Good evening.
Inspector Egan, sir. You're Mr. Kent.
Yes, that's right. Perhaps I can see your ID card.
Certainly, sir.
Well, going to be very careful these days. Come in.
Thank you. Oh, I seem to have stepped on your letters. Sorry about that. You've just got in, I expect.
Yes, 10 minutes ago. We're just back from America.
Oh, yes, we knew about that, sir. Your agent told us that you were coming back this afternoon.
You've been in touch with my agent?
Yes, indeed.
Sit down, Inspector.
Thank you. We've been wanting to have a word with you for some time, as a matter of fact, but we couldn't get a response from the number that your agent gave us.
Really? There must be some mistake. A drink?
No, thank you. Mind you, if someone was making a cup of tea, I wouldn't say no. Got a bit cold in the car. The heater's packed up.
Emma, Mrs. would like a cup of tea. Do you mind?
All right, Harry. I'll bring it in a moment.
Right then, Inspector. What can I do for you?
Well, it concerns a friend of yours, Paul Weeks.
Paul?
Also your writing partner,
Yes,
I believe.
he's my partner. What about Paul?
You did that teleserial, I think. Death in Custody.
Yes, that's one of ours.
Lots of police brutalities, wasn't there? The lads and I enjoyed that. I think psychiatrists call it wish fulfilled.
Inspector, what's happened to Paul?
Happened to him, sir? Would you expect something to have happened to him?
You know, well, if nothing had happened to him, then he wouldn't be here now, would you?
Oh, come on, sir. He might have put in an application for a gun license and used your name as a referee. When are you next expecting to see Mr. Reeves?
Well, we're expecting him here any moment, sir. He's been looking after the flat while we were away. In fact, we expected him to be here when we got here, but he must have stepped out.
Did you let him know that you were coming back today, sir?
Yes, we wrote to him last week.
Perhaps the letter is on that pile on the doormat.
What? Oh, yes, perhaps so.
Do you mind if I take a look?
I don't think I'm obliged to show you my personal correspondence until you explain why you were here, Inspector.
That's quite right, sir. But why Weren't you surprised when you opened that door to see all those letters on the floor? Didn't you wonder about Mr. Riggs? I mean, you would have expected him to have picked them up, wouldn't you? As he was living here.
Well, see, Inspector, Mr. Riggs, well, I'm not sure what's going on. I seem to be under some sort of cross-examination. You haven't explained my original question. Has something happened to Mr. Riggs?
Well, we think it might have done. That's why we need your help. But tell me, why were you not surprised that he hadn't picked up the letters?
Well, he's not a very organised person. In fact, he's a semi-alcoholic. We would have expected him to be in bed all this week when we got back, and no, he's been there ever since.
And yet you chose him to look after your magnificent new apartment.
Well, Paul's eccentric, but he's harmless. Look, Inspector, I don't mean to be rude, but I don't see why I should sit here being interrogated without being given some sort of reason.
Oh, fair enough, sir. You've been very patient. Very patient indeed, sir. Suppose I told you your partner's dead.
Dead? What? Paul? My God, what happened?
Well, you yourself said he was an alcoholic. There's lots of ways that an alcoholic would kill himself. But you didn't quite let me finish. I was going to say, suppose I told you your partner's dead. How do you think he might have died?
Don't play bloody parlour games with me, Inspector. This is my friend's life we're talking about.
Bear with me a little longer, sir. It's very important we get a picture of Mr. Riggs in order to find out what occurred. Now, how would you expect him to have died?
I don't know. Cirrhosis of the liver, a heart attack. He could have fallen down dead drunk from behind the sofa. Anything could have happened.
Yes, but then his body would still be in the flat, wouldn't it, sir? And we wouldn't have known anything about it, as no one has been in here. I assume that no one has been in here.
Well, I shouldn't say, Inspector. Now, will you please get to the point?
One more time, Mr. Kent. How would you think Paul Riggs might have come to a violent end outside this flat?
I don't know. He could have been hit by a car coming home from the pub. He might have thrown himself over the balcony or something. He's been very, he's been very talking of suicide lately.
Has he indeed, sir?
Yes, Inspector.
That's interesting. I'm surprised that you didn't mention that before.
Did he commit suicide?
Oh, you see my method, sir. If I might not have known about the suicide talk if I hadn't kept you guessing.
Right, Inspector. Now, will you please tell me what happened?
You mentioned a balcony. Is there a balcony to this flat?
Yes, there is.
Behind those curtains, I presume.
That's right.
Do you mind if I take a look?
Not at all, Inspector, but I'll have to open them for you. They are automatic.
Oh dear. There seems to have been some sort of accident. There's blood all over the place.
Yes, a dead seabird, savaged by one of the big gulls. That's what we thought it was when we checked the doorpost just now to check the weather. Would you mind if I close the curtains, Inspector? The sight rather upsets my wife.
Well, I imagine it would. I presume this is your good lady?
It is. Emma, darling, this is Inspector,
Egan. Good evening, Mrs. Kent.
Good evening, Inspector.
Well, perhaps I should have a little glance around outside, if you don't mind, if that's all right.
No, that's all right, Inspector.
Always advisable to inspect the scene of the crime, as it were. Just my little joke, of course. Well, well, what a nasty sight. Rather spoils the view, doesn't it? Oh, there's a woman's jacket out here.
Yes.
Did you know that?
Yes, it's mine.
How did it get out there?
I was going to clean up the balcony. It was already dirty. I just threw it down.
Oh, shall I bring it in then?
No! No, please don't. I'll bring it in later. It's already dirty.
Oh, all right, I see. Well, as you wish.
I'll just get the tea.
Well, there's certainly a devil of a mess out here, sir. If it wasn't for what you say, I reckon there's been some sort of violence, bird or no bird. But nature is, in the Lord, is cruel, isn't it? Cruel and ruthless. Interesting theory of yours about his going over the balcony. Quite a low rail. Sheer drop to the rocks below, I expect. Might have even bounced off the rocks into the sea. Either way, a nice quick end.
Maybe his body was washed out to sea.
Oh, exactly right. And it could take a long time to come back to, sir.
Do you think that's what's happened, Inspector? That Paul decided to end it all and throw himself off the balcony? Is that it?
No, sir.
Why not?
Because all the evidence suggests that Mr. Paul Riggs was shot to death in London 4 weeks ago.
Paul was in London 4 weeks ago?
Come, sir. You're supposed to say, what? Shot?
Yes.
That's the surprising bit.
That's what I mean, but he was meant to be looking after the flat, and he said he wouldn't go far, and he was shot?
That's more like it, sir. That's more like it, yes. Well, it seems that he was shot, but that's the bit we're not sure of. But he certainly was in London 4 weeks ago.
You'll have a cup of tea, Inspector.
Oh, thank you very much.
I'm afraid it's long life milk. We had to stop into the garage on our way home, but they were out of fresh.
Long life will be all right. But I wondered why you had to buy them.
Paul was pretty slipshod, wasn't he, Emma?
Yes, he was.
Yes, milk wasn't high on his agenda. In fact, you couldn't rely on him for anything.
Scarcely worth writing to him to let him know you were coming, eh? Well, maybe we should break the bad news to Mrs. Kent, sir. Though it probably won't be too much of a shock to her. She doesn't seem at all surprised that we're using the past tense in reference to Mr. Riggs.
Well, I don't know what you're implying, Inspector, but my wife is pretty tired after our flights. We haven't been to bed for 36 hours. The fact is, Emma, the Inspector thinks that Paul is dead, though we can't be absolutely sure about it.
Well, we haven't found the body yet, you see. A little too much water, I'm afraid.
You mean he went into the sea? Off the balcony?
Well, that's interesting. That's what your husband thought might have happened. Funny that you jumped to the same conclusion.
But you said a little too much water.
I was referring to the tea, Mrs. Kent. A little too much hot water in the pot for my taste, I'm afraid. I prefer it a bit stronger.
I'm rather confused, Inspector. We left Paul here looking after the flat, as we were in America, as I expect you know. But you're saying something happened to him. What?
I wish I knew.
Don't expect a straight answer, Emma. I've been trying to get one for 15 minutes.
But if you don't know what's happened to Paul, why do you assume anything's happened to him at all? He might have just gone out for a loaf of bread.
Oh. So, you could rely on him for bread, not for milk?
It was a figure of speech, Inspector. He's more likely to have gone out for a bottle of scotch. He'll probably roll back within half an hour.
I don't think so, Mrs. Kent.
And why not?
We've run this number twice a day for 3 weeks. 5 times an officer has called, and there has never been any reply. We questioned the people in the village. Nobody's seen him. Paul Riggs has disappeared.
Just a minute, Inspector. Why this sudden interest in Paul Riggs? How did this all start?
Well, it started when he was reported missing just over 3 weeks ago.
reported missing. By whom?
A woman walked into the Lewes police station and said she wanted to report a serious incident. She said to the sergeant that Paul Riggs had been murdered.
Murdered? Oh, did she say who murdered him?
Yes, sir. You.
Good grief, Inspector! Some fantasizing girl who's wandered in, read about Kent and Riggs in the TV Times, wanders in with a cock and bull story, and you take it seriously?
Well, we have to follow these things up once reported, you see. In any case, there's a certain amount of evidence for this case to back up the story Miss Knight gave us.
Miss who?
The woman gave her name as Valerie Knight. Do you know her, Mrs. Kent?
No. Paul had a habit of bringing home young women. I don't suppose we ever met this one.
Well, fair hair, 5'6", grey eyes, wearing a check jacket, fawn skirt, with a white pullover. Mean anything to you, Mr. Kent? Grey eyes, checked jacket.
No.
Pity. Oh, there seems to be a bloodstain on your chair, Mr. Kent.
A blood stain?
That would be me, Inspector. I often get nosebleeds after flying.
Oh dear, I'm sorry. Well, it's unfortunate that neither of you knew Valerie Knight.
Well, we didn't, Inspector.
Didn't? Do you suppose that she has also come to grief?
What? Don't be absurd. You said you, so I said didn't. Has something happened to her?
Well, I wish I knew.
Oh.
But Valerie Knight seems to have disappeared as well, or seems to have done so.
Inspector, my wife and I are both very tired. Perhaps you could tell us what this girl said had happened, what you think happened, and how we can help. Then maybe, I don't know, we could unpack, have a bath, and get an early night.
Well, that seems like a good idea, sir. Well, as I told you, our interest in Mr. Riggs began when this Miss Knight reported him missing. She said that she believed that his partner had shot him, and that he dumped his body in the channel. You do have a powerboat, I believe, sir.
Yes, it's been big since the end of the season, since October.
Ah. Anyway, that's what she claimed the evening that she called into the police station. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to give us any further details.
Didn't you question her?
Well, of course, yes, very closely. But she seemed frightened and disturbed. And we couldn't get anything more out of her. The sergeant took her name and address and promised to make some inquiries. We have to, you see. We're public servants.
Yes.
Well, we did make some inquiries, and that's when it got a bit intriguing. Are you a fan of crosswords, Mr. Kent?
Not really, no.
Oh, I enjoy them. Especially when 5 across helps you get 7 down. Well, we sent out a standard missing persons notice to all stations, and that rang a couple of bells in our West End division. It seems that Mr. Paul Riggs was making himself known on the night of the November the 20th.
What? Paul was in London in November.
Oh, so you're surprised too, just like your husband. Is there any reason why he shouldn't have gone to London?
It's just he was supposed to be staying here, looking after the flat, as we were in America, as I expect you know.
Yes, yes. Well, except for Mr. Kent's flying visit to London.
Well, that's right, Inspector. As you know, I flew back for 24 hours to pick up an award.
Yes, we knew that, Mr. Kent. Do you remember exactly when that was?
Oh, I don't know, sometime late in November, I can't recall the date.
It was, in fact, November the 20th.
Oh, yes, that's right.
The same night that Mr. Riggs was putting himself about in the West End.
Good, great. Well, it was certainly at the awards. He hates those sorts of things. That's why I went and agreed to pick up the award for both of us.
Did you disagree with Mr. Riggs on many topics, sir?
Well, we had some disagreements, amicable ones, naturally. It helps to make a good team. A creative tension, it's called.
Is it indeed, sir?
But what was Paul doing in London on the night of the awards?
Well, according to our reports, he was getting drunk in the cocktail bar of the Cooper's Hotel.
Are you sure it was him?
Well, he walked in under the name of Paul Riggs, and at the bar he picked a quarrel with some people who wouldn't believe that he was a successful television writer. He was shouting his name all over the place.
Sounds like Paul.
He said that he was in London for the night to receive an award. Well, eventually he got noisy and objectionable and was asked to leave the bar. In fact, he left the hotel, apparently heading for the Dorchester. When there was no taxi at once, he decided to walk. He never came back to Cooper's Hotel, and he never paid his bill. That same evening, one of our lads reported a fracas in Curzon Street. Curzon Street is between Cooper's Hotel and the Dorchester.
I know Curzon Street, Inspector.
Yes. There was a quarrel down a side street, one of those dark little mews. A drunken man was heard shouting something about an award, and then there were 2 shots. A couple of our witnesses ran down the mews and saw a drunk being bundled into the back of a red Sierra by another man. He then jumped into the car and drove off at a great speed.
And it suggested that one of these men was Paul Riggs.
Well, the descriptions all fit the got all fitted. He was at Cooper's Hotel and he has gone missing. Oh, do you mind if I take one of your sugar lumps, Mrs. Kent? I'm rather fond of them.
I suppose you're going to tell me that you believe this fantasizing girl, that you think that I shot Paul and threw his body into the channel.
Well, that's what she said, sir.
Really, you must really for a moment realise this is utterly absurd, Inspector.
Well, we do realise it's absurd, and there is a comic side. Mind you, we reckon you could have done it.
What?
Well, you were at the Dorchester on the night of the 10th of November, and you left for Heathrow at 10 a.m. in the morning. You could have driven down here overnight, put the body in your boat, taken it out to sea and dumped it, and been back at the Dorchester just in time for breakfast. I believe they do a very good breakfast at the Dorchester, do they?
I don't have a red Sierra.
Oh, could have been a hired car. Lots of the firms use them. You could have got it in the evening and taken it back the following morning. And I believe you have a handgun, sir. I know you have a license.
Yes, I belong to the South of England Pistol Club.
And where do you keep your gun, sir?
I keep it in my desk.
Could I see it, please?
Well, yes, of course you can. It's not there! It's moved, where is it? Have you moved it, Emma?
No, why would I?
It's not there! Someone must have taken it!
Who?
Oh, indeed, sir. Well, when it turns up again, you'll let us know, will you? When we find Mr. Riggs's body, it may have a couple of bullets in it. And people may think that they came from your gun, if we haven't got at hand to prove them wrong.
Listen, I've had enough of this. If I'd handed that story to a TV company, they would have thrown it out by now. You haven't proved Paul's disappeared. You haven't even proved he's dead. Even if it's anything to do with me, I haven't got anything to do with it. I shall be on to my solicitor in the morning. But in the meantime, will you please leave?
Sit down and shut up.
Beg your pardon.
I'm sorry, sir. I got a bit carried away there. Comes from watching too many bullying cops on the television. Nature copying art, I think Oscar Wilde called it.
My solicitor might call it something else.
I said I was sorry, sir. Did you read Oscar Wilde at all?
What's that got to do with anything?
Well, I was just wondering, your relationship with Mr. Reeves, being so close for so long. I wondered if it had any of that sort of nature about it.
How dare you make such a suggestion? Certainly not.
Dear me, I hope you're not implying there's anything wrong with gay relationships, are you? You're not like those brutal police on the television harassing minorities.
Now look here!
Do you have another cup of tea, Inspector?
No, thank you, Mrs. Kent. I must be on my way in a moment.
You never told us what happened to that girl, Valerie Knight, was it?
That's right. Well, she rang the Lewes police station the day after she called to see if there was anything to report, which at that stage there wasn't. A few days later, after we'd picked up the news from London, we sent a man around to speak to her, but she was gone.
Gone?
Yes, left her digs and all her things in her room. Her landlady said she was just about to report her missing. The girl hasn't been seen since.
At least my husband's in the clear here. We've been in America for 6 weeks, as I expect you know.
Oh, I'm pleased to hear that.
Who are you?
Yes, well, if everybody knows, it shouldn't be too hard to prove, should the need arise.
What?
Oh, good Lord, is that the time? I better be off.
Inspector, why should anyone think I would want to kill my partner?
Well, too much creative tension, perhaps? Oh, by the way, there was one thing I'd forgotten.
Nothing helpful, I'm sure.
Not to you, no, sir. The barman at the Cooper's Hotel recalled quite a lot of the boozy ramblings of Mr. Reeves. Apparently, Reeves said that you wanted to break up the partnership, that you'd used up all his ideas, and that he was written out. Is that the expression? He said that you wanted to discard him like an old typewriter bill. Was there anything in that, Mr. Kent?
Only that Paul's very old-fashioned in his similes. We've used word processors for years.
Were you going to split up, Mr. Kent?
Well, there had been some tension lately. Yes, that's hardly a motive for murder. If I wanted to break up the partnership, I could just refuse to work with him.
Yes, we reached the same conclusion, I'm afraid. But we're still thinking about it.
I'll see you out, Inspector.
Thank you. I'll call again tomorrow, if I may, see if there's any news for either of us.
You insist, Inspector?
Thank you for the tea, Mrs. Kent. I hope you get a good night's sleep after your long flight.
Harry, this is a nightmare. What are we going to do?
Well, relax and calm. I didn't shoot Paul, you didn't shoot Paul, and if that's what the police think, then we've got to be in the clear. Hello? Oh yes, this is Mr. Kent. Who's calling? What are you talking about? Hello? What? Hello? Who are you? Who is this?
Who was it, Harry?
It was a man. He said, "What have we done with Valerie Knight's body?"
I repeat, soon as you get in. It's urgent. That's all for the moment. Goodbye.
Well, did you get a hold of Colin?
I tried.
We'll try again. He's the only one that can tell us something about Paul.
I've rung his office 6 times, and it's always the answering phone.
Christ, has everyone disappeared?
Can we have that bloody door shut? It's freezing in here.
All right, we'll be there in a moment. You feel useful if you did something to keep yourself warm?
Useful?
Yes.
Like what?
Like clean this place up. There's dust on the furniture. You can write your name in. Oh my God!
What is it?
Someone has been writing in the dust.
What does it say?
It says murderers.
That has to be Paul. It's the kind of thing you do.
Oh, how could he? How could he got back in the flat?
Suppose someone let him back in.
Really, yeah, right. Be sensible. Who could have... no one else had a key to this flat. It was the copper that did this. Yes. When I went to the hall yesterday, another one of his neat little tricks to try and break us down. I need another drink.
At this time in the morning.
Who cares what time it is? What the hell is this?
Scotch is a new brand. I got it when I stocked up this morning.
Why didn't you get our usual?
It was on special today. First day in the shop.
What ads? Weed killer?
For God's sakes, Harry, close the damn door.
All right.
This writing looks familiar. What are you going to do with that thing?
I don't know.
Don't get the blood in the furniture.
All right, I won't, but... oh, it's almost dry. Look, I'll put it in the kitchen for now.
Harry, this writing looks familiar.
Capital letters in the dust. Do you think you recognize it?
I don't know what I think anymore. What will you do with the coat?
I'll make up my mind later. I have to think of a place to put it, to hide it. Oh, God, please. That's not the inspector. I need more time to think. Hello? Oh, it's you, Inspector. I wonder how I guessed. Yes, I suppose so. Come up if you wish.
Harry, I think we ought to give him the coat.
Give it to the inspector? But you told him it was yours!
I know, and it's been worrying me all of the time that I lied about it.
I don't want him to examine the wretched thing. It complicates everything.
If we hide it, he might find out and get more suspicious about Paul.
Look, let's keep our minds, keep our heads. All we did was shut Paul out on the balcony. That's something he would have done himself. And no one ever know the difference.
But they think you shot him, and they're building a case.
They haven't got a motive. Anyway, they've never had an idea that he had a hold on me.
Good morning, Mr. Kent. May I come in?
I don't think anything will stop you.
Well, you could stop me if you wished, Mr. Kent. I haven't got a warrant. I could, of course, get one pretty soon. Good morning, Mrs. Kent. May I sit down? Don't bother with the coffee. I've just had a cup at the station. Mind you, if anyone would make me a hot tea, I could be persuaded. No? Never mind. Perhaps you haven't had time to get the milk. Or did Mr. Riggs bring some on his, when he came back?
Came back?
Yes.
Are you saying that Paul's been seen, Inspector?
No, not that I know of. But it was you two who suggested that he'd just slipped out last night. I was hoping that you would produce Mr. Riggs for me this morning.
Well, I'm afraid we can't.
Oh dear. Have you any other news for me, Mr. Kent?
Sorry, no.
Nothing's turned up? No messages? No new ideas? No garments?
Garments.
What do you mean by that, Inspector?
Oh, come on, you know what garments are, Mr. Kent. Clothing, wearing apparel, sartorial items.
Why should clothes turn up here?
Well, you said Mr. Riggs was living here. I just wondered if any of his clothes were still in evidence in cupboards and so on.
No, I haven't seen any of Paul's clothes. Have you, Emma?
No, I haven't.
Curious, that.
Have you any news, Inspector?
Yes, I have.
You've got some idea about what's been going on?
Yes. Well, of course, we had some idea yesterday, as you know. We thought your husband had made an appointment to meet Mr. Riggs on his way back to London. Shot him, driven his body out here, and ditched it in the sea. But all that's changed now.
I'm glad to hear it.
Yes, yesterday it was just a vague idea. Today, we're certain of it.
What?
Well, the one flaw, you see, was the lack of motive.
Exactly.
No, Mr. Kent.
No.
A while ago, a man telephoned to the police station. He wanted to leave a message for the officer in charge of what he called the Paul Riggs case. He wouldn't leave his name.
What was the message?
He said, "Did you know that Harold Kent did a swindle at the accountants where he worked, and that Paul Riggs was blackmailing him about it?"
Oh, I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Well, which part don't you believe, Mr. Kent? That the man phoned, or that there was a swindle, or that Paul Kent was using Paul Riggs was using the information to blackmail him?
I used to work for an accountant. The rest is nonsense.
Absolute nonsense.
Well, he seemed very sure of himself, the sergeant said. He said that the details would follow right post. What a lovely story. Motive, opportunity, and circumstantial evidence. No TV company would throw that out. Now, all you need is Mr. Riggs' body with a couple of bullets in it from your gun. But there have been plenty of murders that have been solved without a corpse, as you would know.
I shall ring my solicitor at once.
Oh, good. I hate it when people wait till they get to the police station and use our phone.
Are you arresting me, Inspector?
Not quite yet, Mr. Kent. We're still checking your motorboat for blood or human hair. But we have established that it was taken out 2 months ago. Oh, we'll get it all tied up soon, I promise you.
You're not arresting me. Then will you please leave?
Well, of course, you could save us all a lot of time by telling us the truth now. Mind you, if we put our heads together, we might make it sound like self-defense. What do you think?
Go to hell.
Oh, dear. That's a bit of a cliche, isn't it? You'd think that the author of Death in Custody would come up with something better than that. Well, I tell you. Oh, there was a bit more to that telephone conversation. Our anonymous friend did say something else.
Oh?
Yes, apparently he said, "Why don't you look for Valerie Knight's jacket?" Now, what could that possibly mean?
I don't know.
What about that jacket that was on your balcony last night? You said it was yours, Mrs. Kent. Are you sure about that?
I made a mistake.
A mistake? Well, it doesn't appear to be out there now.
I was cleaning the balcony, Inspector.
Yes, so I see. And did you by any chance know this Miss Knight, sir?
No, I didn't.
Had you ever heard of her?
Yes, as a matter of fact, as she was an ex-girlfriend of Mr. Riggs.
Hello, what's this? I didn't see this last night. It's an envelope addressed to Miss Valerie Knight. How did this get here?
I don't know. Mr. Riggs must have dropped it. He always carried bundles of paper around with him.
It's got blood on it, sir.
I see it has.
It wasn't in that jacket, was it, Mr. Kent?
I don't know.
Well, perhaps I'd better have a look at it, if I may. Where is it?
I don't know, Inspector. As I told you, perhaps my wife took it to the cleaners.
No, I haven't done anything with it. It's in the kitchen. I'll get it for you now.
You weren't by any chance trying to conceal the jacket, were you, Mr. Kent?
No, of course I wasn't, Inspector. I thought it was my wife's, as I told you. I took it into the kitchen with the sofa chair, the cushions and everything else.
Here you are, Inspector.
Ah. So, this isn't your jacket then, Mrs. Kent?
No, it isn't.
What a mess. And a rather nasty tear. We'll have to find out whether this stain matches the blood stains on this letter. If it does, it will prove that this is Valerie Knight's jacket. And then we'll have to find out how it got onto your balcony, won't we? Well, I'll send you the results of the lab test, sir. Don't worry, Mrs. Kent. I'll let myself out. Oh, and you won't be planning to go away overseas for the next few days, will you, Mr. Kent? We have, we have a new extradition treaty with Spain, don't you? It's the first good thing to come out of the common market.
Oh, God, Harry, this is dreadful. What are we going to do?
Bloody frightened myself. What the hell is going on? Someone's trying to destroy us. What's that jacket got to do with the Valerie Knight? Where is Paul, for Christ's sake?
Harry, you didn't by any chance happen to shoot Paul, did you?
Of course not. You saw him out the balcony. But, of course, the police have got a motive now.
Harry, what are your golf clubs doing in the hall?
What?
Your golf clubs, what are they doing in the hall? I swear you put them away when you went away. Well, what are they doing then?
Oh, for God's sake. Something supernatural's going on. Perhaps we really do have a Paul, guys. That will explain a lot.
Well, would you put them away, please? They worry me.
Oh, if that's all that worries you, you're bloody lucky.
Is it true what the inspector said, that they can prove murder without finding a body?
I'm afraid so. Of course. They prefer to have a corpse. Oh my God!
It's Paul!
We've got one!
It's Paul, isn't it?
Of course it's Paul. Or it used to be, but that means he was out the balcony. He must have been playing tricks us, but he's not playing now.
But if the inspector finds him like that...
No, I didn't shoot him in November in London. That blood is still fresh.
Good you, bastard! Oh, how's that for a trick, Harry? The old body in the cupboard room. Only this time the victim isn't dead. Hello, you're like an hour in a trance.
What the hell is this? What is going on?
It's a bit of a long story. Perhaps we should all have a drink. No? Well, I'm certainly going to have one. There's nothing like a stuffy cupboard for stimulating the thirst. I think we better all sit down. You've got yourselves in a bit of a mess here. I think this inspector's about to nick you.
What for? He can't get me for killing you. Not when you're alive.
Well, I might be and I might not.
What does that mean, Paul?
It means I've enjoyed being dead for the last few weeks. You meet a better class of people. And of course you don't have to pay national insurance. Did you know that? I'm thinking about being dead permanently.
Don't be idiotic. We've seen you.
Maybe you only think you've seen. If I go back down the stairs now and move off a bit sharpish, I could disappear again.
Being dead seems to have addled your brain.
I'll ring them now. I'll bring the porter up. Make sure that everyone sees you.
No, you don't, silly boy.
So that's where my gun went. You're not going to use it, are you?
Well, I'm very likely to use it. I don't like people who lock me out and leave me to die. Especially when they're trying to steal my plot.
But if you start shooting people, it'll be you that gets done for murder.
I don't think so, Harry. You see, this inspector's got you in a bit of a corner. Your brilliant career about to be ruined, past swindling's coming out. If he found you holding your own gun in which you shot yourself and your lovely wife, I'd think his case would be tied up quite nicely. So you better sit down and listen.
For heaven's sake, what are you trying to do?
Well, for the last 10 years, I'm trying to make this man pay for exploiting me. Because I need a few drinks, and he doesn't. I'm also rather keen for both of you to pay for trying to kill me.
Paul, how did you get off the balcony?
I'll tell you how I got off the balcony. But let's just say you overlooked one small thing.
Paul, tell us what the hell's going on. The police have been around with some ridiculous story.
One of my more brilliant plots, sure. Putting myself about in London at the time of the awards, finding a layabout to impersonate you for 50 quid, leaving some hair and blood on board, and taking out your epoxy patent, of course.
Where does Valerie Knight come into this?
Yes, where indeed.
Stop fooling around and tell us what the hell is going on. What the hell are you playing at?
Not playing it, I assure you. In deadly earnest, as they say.
What in God's name do you hope to gain?
A great many things.
Is it revenge? Some sort of plot to get your own back?
Partly. There's also a certain pleasure in seeing you frightened little faces, like one of our better TV shows.
I know you, Paul. You always got your eye to the main detail. What do you want, Paul?
Top of the agenda at the moment, a large pecuniary advantage.
You're hoping to make money.
Oh yes, a great deal of money. Your money, Harry.
Well, I'm not going to give you any money.
Oh no, I'm taking it. Do you know what this is, Harry?
No,
You don't recognise it?
it's an envelope. Damn it. How would I recognize an envelope?
Because it has our solicitor's name on it. It's the contract of our working partnership, drawn up by massive expenses by Messrs. Hanley, Baker and Silverman, the best lawyers in town.
What of it?
It's a very thorough document, remember? 25 clauses on how we share the work and the loot. But the most important clause at the moment is clause 24. What happens when one of the partners defaults by force majeure?
What does that mean, Paul?
In plain language, when one of the partners can no longer go collaborating with you.
Go on.
Oh. Let me read it to you, if I may. On the death of one of the partners or his disabling illness, or confinement for life in prison, or a mental institution, all rights in the work executed to date by the parties together will transfer to the surviving partner. Confinement for life in prison. That's the part I like. That's the part that applies to you, Harry.
What do you mean? Confined for life in prison?
I know what he means. He set me up for his murder. He's planted all the clues. He's put the motive in. Planted all the clues. The gun, the boat, the witnesses in Curzon Street. The whole bloody charade. And then he's going to disappear.
Oh God, Harry, he's got us!
Oh, not quite. See, he's forgotten something. He's got his fingerprints all over the flat. And he's not wearing gloves!
I forgot to put them on!
You see, he can't pin his murder on us in November in London. His prints are all over the cupboards, inside and out. They're even on that glass of whiskey.
But Harry, I've been in this flat dozens of times before. Working with you. That's how my prints are all over this place. You can't possibly prove that they were made today. Forensics has become a fine art, but still cannot put a date on fingerprints.
What's your answer to that, Harry? Come on. You're just as good a writer as he is. Come up with another twist.
Whiskey, you poured yourself a glass of whiskey. What did you tell me about this?
It's on sale. It's never been on the shops before.
And your prints are on this bottle. That proves you were here today.
Very ingenious, Harry. I must use that myself one day. But I'm afraid it makes no difference, old chap. You see, you're barking up the wrong tree. I changed my mind about the murder victim. It isn't me after all. Murder mysteries are never what they seem at first. You should have realised that.
Then what the hell is this all about?
You said I was forgetting something. But I think you're the one that's doing that.
Oh God, there can't be more. Tell him to go away. I've had enough of this.
For Christ's sake, Emma! What am I forgetting, Paul?
Valerie Knight!
What about her?
I killed her. And you're going to be put away for her murder.
Just how did you make that out?
Well, she was your mistress, wasn't she? Well, wasn't she?
Is that true?
She... Okay, you took off where I left her, old chum.
If this isn't another of your bloody little tricks.
No tricks, I assure you. I have dozens of witnesses who have seen you together. I know her special haunts, her favourite places. The pubs, the discos, the intimate little restaurants that she prefers. You were seen, Harry. You were seen holding hands, stroking her hair, gazing into her eyes.
Damn you, Harry! Damn you, you lousy bastard!
She was a very dishy bird, our Valerie. Very hard to resist. She was so... when I dumped her, she was so desperate, she called here the next day to try and get hold of me. But she went, didn't she? She did a big number on you over the phone. Husky voice and all. And you fell for it.
No, that's not true!
Of course it's true! And you know it! She told me everything. She became the perfect pest after you went to America. She didn't stop ringing this number saying how she was sick of you and wanted to get back with me. Then, the night before you came back from America, she pushed away in here when I opened the door to go out and get some booze. I'd never seen her in such a state. She broke down and begged me to make her happy like I used to. I said that I didn't like her, that I had someone else that I cared for. That did it, of course. Christ, I'd never seen anything like it. She went clean out of her mind. Came at me with a pair of scissors. I picked up the paper knife to defend myself. That was a hell of a struggle, and she was slashing me at the face. And somehow ran herself onto the paper knife. Straight through the heart. She died instantly. I slipped off her jacket and threw her body over the balcony.
I don't believe you. I don't believe any of this. And even if it's true, you can't pin it on me.
Can't I? She was blackmailing you, wasn't she?
No! That's a lie!
That's what she told me. And that's what I'm going to be telling the police that told me!
Anything? Got no evidence!
I think your memory must be slipping, Harry. What about her jacket? The one with the knife slits in it. The police have that to prove that she was here. All they need now is the murder weapon. Your paper knife, Harry, with your fingerprints all over it, not mine. I was wearing gloves that time, I can assure you. Why don't you have it on your desk?
It's not here! What have you done with it?
Hid it on the balcony. I'll be able to tip off the police exactly where it is when they get here. You bastard! I'm afraid you'll never find it in 1,000 years, Harry. I've found the most ingenious hiding place.
All right. Have it your way. You can write the ending. But tell me one thing. How did you get off the balcony?
You really want to know how I got off the balcony?
I have to.
Emma let me off the balcony, Harry.
What?
Remember she had to come back to get her Valium? While you were waiting in the car? 5 minutes! I was locked out there, Harry. Mind you, it was a bloody cold 5 minutes.
Why, Emma? Why?
If you weren't such a salt-scented bighead, you'd know we've been lovers for years.
You bitch! You scheming lying bitch, and you put up with the whole charade!
It was unlucky for you that you didn't recognize my old fawn jacket. But I told Paul you wouldn't. I wore it on our honeymoon.
He killed Valerie!
No, that's all fiction. Valerie Knight is alive and well. She came out of my life the day she came into yours. Cheerio, Harry, and enjoy the fresh air. I don't think you want to see Harry overreacting now, do we?
I don't want to see Harry ever again, Paul.
I can assure you, you won't. Didn't you love it when he just rushed out there on his own accord?
You're a clever devil, Paul. I don't know whether I buy you for your brains or your wicked sense of humour.
When it comes to the wicked sense of humour, my darling, you can give lessons to the Borgias. All I asked of you was to move things around just a little. That's all poltergeists usually do. Writing in the dust was entirely your idea. Well, it all helped to break Harry's nerve.
Why don't you stop talking and kiss me?
Well, a very neat job, Mr. Ritz.
Thank you. I thought it went off rather smoothly.
I took the liberty of putting the catch-up on the front door so I could slip in and surprise you.
You have a great sense of drama, old chap.
Well, 3 years at RADA were not wasted.
Oh, nicely chilled too.
Oh, it's bloody cold outside.
Of course, you haven't met.
You certainly played your part beautifully. I thought we'd all be behind bars any moment.
Of course. You haven't met our accomplice in his own persona. Now have you, Emma? May I introduce my new collaborator, Martin Wizard. Writer, actor, and specialist in detective roles. I'm afraid Harry was quite rude about Martin's literary efforts, which rather brought him over to our side. That plus $5,000 plus the prospect of collaborating in a new TV series with yours truly. It's a shame Harry isn't here to see it. It's his favourite.
Cheers.
Cheers. Pardon me, spilled my drink. Your car will be here in 5 minutes. You have a ticket, haven't you?
Yes.
I think you're right to Switzerland at this time of year. Whizzing down the ski slopes for the next couple of months.
I'll try.
Martin, you're off to Scotland, aren't you?
That's right.
I don't think anyone's heard of the rep that you're going to. And of course you'll be off the map for a month or two. And I presume that you're being typecast as well.
Yes. 3 detective inspectors, 2 sergeants, and the Inquisitor in St. Joan. I'll be feeling very much at home.
Excellent. As you know, I'm off to Hollywood to discuss filming of the Doomsday Man.
Right.
So, all 3 of us have perfect, legitimate reasons to be miles away while Harry's tragic accident works itself out. But one little word of warning. If any of you tend to be disloyal You do realise we're all in this together, don't you?
Well, of course.
What does that mean?
The law is very specific about contributions, however remote to a violent end.
What are you saying, Paul?
I'm saying that I shall love you for the rest of my life as you will me.
Do you doubt it? I've staked everything on you. I happen to think you're a brilliant man. I'd do anything for you. If something were to happen to you, I would never get over it.
You can't say it further than that now, can you? Right, so off you go to enjoy the sun and the snow, but I warn you, you are not to come back in 8 whole weeks. You are not to come back. Do you understand?
I understand. I'll get my case.
Martin, there's no point of you coming back here because, of course, you'll be able to get in. But I don't want you to have a sudden break in nerves and return to the scene of the crime or anything stupid like that. Do I have your word?
Of course. My whole future depends on us working together, doesn't it?
It does.
I wouldn't dream of jeopardising any of that, I swear.
Okay. We mustn't be seen leaving together. I'll stick around and finish off the champagne and then get my taxi. You first, Martin. Here's to our new punch.
I'll try to be an adequate replacement.
Cheerio, Emma, and thanks for everything.
Oh, Paul.
Enough. No big scene now, Angel. We have a lifetime of that ahead of us. See you in Bern, March the 1st.
Ciao, Paul.
There you are, Harry. Don't think it's been fun, because it hasn't. Christ, what was that? Gadgets! Bloody gadgets! God, I'd be happy to see the last of this place. Christ, this place is haunted. The alarm! The bloody alarm! How did you set that off, Harry? There you are, Harry. Fat lot of good that, did you? Nobody heard it because there's nobody here. Harry? Harry? Harry, where are you? Harry, where the bloody hell are you? No, Paul, no! Goodbye, Harry.